Welcome, welcome, souls, friends, leaders. I am so excited to share this week, particularly on a topic that I know we're all thinking about, but are we really acting and being in this space this week or any week or in your lives? Gratitude. And I have to tell you, I've been thinking a lot about this because I just came back from a conference where we really were living from a space, and I mean living from a space of gratitude the whole time. And it got me thinking, what if I lived from gratitude 24/7? And that would mean when I feel resistance or when I'm angry at someone, right? And I'm going to share some amazing statistics on gratitude because it's pretty profound what happens. And we're going to get into it today. How does gratitude increase your productivity 50%? And that includes basting turkeys, people. I'm talking about all the good stuff. So let's go from here. First, though, I have a question for you. And this is a reflection. What are your favorite ways to express gratitude? What do you personally get a lot out of for yourself? Maybe you like writing thank you cards. I just pulled one out to write one today. Maybe you like to say thank you verbally and look someone in the eye as you say it. Maybe you have a gratitude journal so that you're continually accessing that and practicing active gratitude. I don't know. We're all going to be a different channel for that, what we subscribe to, but think about what your favorite way is, because maybe it's gifting. I know we've all heard about the 5 love languages, right? And there's probably one of those in your field that you really love. Maybe at the workplace, right? Giving gifts. Maybe it's services, act of service. You know, I don't remember what they all are. Great book though, 5 love languages, right? And now that you've accessed and thought about your favorite way to practice gratitude, I have a couple stats because this only will reinforce what I was saying earlier, and that maybe the idea could be, what if I lived from this space? Imagine the results, right? So here's a few statistics. These are from happify.com. They've got some great stuff there with Dan Harris. So as a result of feeling grateful and doing something in the service of gratitude, this was from a United Health Group survey of people who volunteered in the last year. 25% of Americans who did volunteer, actually overall, like that's a quarter of Americans volunteer, and that's according to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics. So great work, everybody. Like, keep volunteering. This is the season to volunteer, and hopefully you do that ongoing in some way. 76% feel physically healthier. 94% said that volunteering improves their mood, and 78% feel less stressed. There you go. I mean, if there's any good statistics out there, that I think makes a lot of sense for me. And the other thing to think about with this world of gratitude is that it is not only needed, but sorely, sorely needed. We are needed, okay? If you are a corporate leader, professional, and especially if you are a female professional, I think as women, we are so needed right now to be grateful, to be fierce in that, and to share our gratitude, because that is us, each of us, sharing your light. Sharing your light. And sometimes, especially the holidays, while work is a little hectic and doing different things, feeling that buzz and the pressure of getting everything done, we need that light. Your colleagues need that light, your peers, your teams and your bosses, everyone. We can do that, but gratitude helps to amplify this, and you become a force for good, right? So if you're kind of feeling the crunch as you get your work done this year, doing things, getting done before the holiday, whatever it is, know that when you are tapping into gratitude, right? Just thanking your body for being there, for the things that you're learning, for the light coming out through the window into the sun that's hitting your eyes, whatever it is, you are a channel and a conduit for a force for good. And I think we are sorely needed now more than ever, especially in the workplace, when it comes to this. And gratitude can be the access point to get there. So if you're feeling resentful potentially, or you're just kind of burn out because it is the end of the year and you're ready to take a big break or a pause, then awesome. Like whatever your situation is, know that gratitude is going to serve you. And it's energy. It's your energy directed in a way that is constructive and positive, which trains your brain to think more positive, to get out of that negative or neutral space that isn't necessarily default mode, right? Like getting ourselves off of autopilot. And pausing, I think, can really serve us with this. And I call a pause, some of you may know this, an intentional shift in behavior. And if you don't know me, by the way, I mean, my whole story is burning out of Google over 10 years ago, where, heck, I think gratitude was probably the last thing on my mind. I was just trying to survive day to day, getting through the time, getting through the day, because I just felt so much stress. And research tells us when we actually feel stressed, we cannot tap into anything that feels a little bit more lighter or welcoming, this world of the visionary space or gratitude. So just know that if you're feeling stressed, we need to pause. We need to actually take a step back and do something different and intentionally shift our behavior to activate other ways of thinking and being. Okay, so just know that that's okay to do, especially now in the holiday season. It doesn't need to take a lot of time. It could be something as simple as a gratitude journal. And while we're on this topic of gratitude, I've got a couple exercises you could try, a couple experiments, if you will. Before we get to that though, just take a moment here, just pause right now. Take a breath with me. What are you gathering? Like what's coming up for you around gratitude? How do you think you're doing with it right now? What's your favorite way to express it, right? Have you done that today? Did you do it yesterday? I mean, it is a daily practice. And remember, think about the ideal to live from this space. Whoa, to me, that was such a good confronting reminder. Like, wow, am I really living from this space? No, but I want, like, my aspiration is to live from this space. And I think we can all see the benefits of that, where, man, oh, well, here, let me tell you about the benefits. Okay. So benefits are as follows, and there's a little bit more brain science here. So this is based in neurological science and brain science, where there's been studies on this. If we practice 3 minutes of gratitude a day, okay, everybody, that's literally maybe 30 seconds each times 6 times a day. We help to fire and wire our neurons more around gratitude. And this changes after 2 weeks. If we did this for 2 weeks. So let's say 3 minutes a day for 2 weeks straight, 14 days, you will automatically have different ways of thinking and being in the world, knowing that your gratitude is shifting. I think that's pretty powerful. That means you're going to have more frequent access to feeling grateful. It'll be easier for you. It'll be becoming more accessible for you. And one of my favorite researchers, and you may know her, Dr. Brene Brown. Who doesn't know Brene these days? She is a grounded theory researcher. And for those of you who aren't familiar with that research methodology, what it really means is you go into a field of study, in her case, interviewing thousands of participants and on vulnerability, right? That's kind of her domain, and seeing what emerges from the conversations, from the data points. And from there is what she determines is the factors and what she calls what is called core variable or core variables in a study. And what she found is that gratitude is a core variable to feel more joy. And all I'm saying is the folks who actually, in her thousands of interviews, said they had more joy in their life, they named gratitude as one of the reasons why. So there's a direct correlation there. And if Brene says that, then I am a full believer that gratitude can serve us all. It's also a happiness booster. Literally, like, our oxytocin levels go up, which is literally that feel-good hormone, the love hormone. It stays around. It's actually something that helps relax us. Our rest and digest mode kicks in. Our immune system strengthens. We get enhanced T cell function. It's pretty awesome. And one of these other ideas is emotionally, like, our emotional contagion spreads. So when we feel gratitude, other people feel gratitude, right? So we know this. When we walk into a room and someone smiles at us, you can sense their joy, and if it's fake, right? And so then we're able to spread our gratitude, so to speak. We're going to influence more people to likely do the same. I think that that's pretty exciting. And so, I'm rattling on about the benefits here, but think of this in relation to now it's the holiday season, right? This week is Thanksgiving. Whoa, right? Like you have a lot of opportunity on the table for expressing gratitude, no matter what is going on in the past or what you're working on right now. Know that you have the present time to shift things, right? And so whether you're improving relationships, your physical health, like your T cell count and immunity, your psychological health, maybe you're getting better sleep, maybe your self-esteem is improving, maybe your mental strength is building, you can enhance and increase your empathy capabilities. All of this, everybody, is available to you as you continue to build in gratitude practices. So if there is any reason to not play in this world of gratitude, let me know, because I cannot imagine anyone being like, nah, I don't think it's worth it. But here's the thing, we all know this on a cognitive level, right? Me lecturing this out isn't necessarily going to change anything. You actually have to change your habits or do something different. Or maybe you're sitting there saying, well, I already have a gratitude practice. It's great. I do this, this, this. Okay, awesome. So what else could you do to take it to the next level? What feels risky for you? Potentially being vulnerable with someone to share how much you appreciate them. Maybe it's at work. Maybe you're thanking someone who helped you, who supported you in something. This is going the extra mile that can really help you take your gratitude off the chart so that you can benefit from these things. And one more thing to mention, I mentioned this, and this is kind of the theme, is productivity increases, right? So check this out. There are statistics that tell us that when people say thank you at the office, right? So, hey, thanks, Bob. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Karen. It's been shown to increase employee productivity by 50%, 50. Amazing, right? This is from an infographic called The Science of Gratitude, and I got it off a website. I'll put the link in the show notes. I use this all the time when I speak about it, but I don't know if there's a better stat to uproot a program at work other than just saying thank you, because we're so wired to be like, well, what can we do differently? What's a new strategy? Why are we not making our numbers? Blah, 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 blah. But what if you just said thank you? Like, what if we actually innately started to prime people's intrinsic motivation, right? That inner motivation that we all have to feel successful, to make a difference, to do something great, all of those things that we aspire to, we could do that, right? And then we can also increase our own joy and our happiness. And the same infographic tells us that when we are expressing this gratitude, our happiness increases up to 19-20%. And that's when you do it with someone else. So it's great to do a journal. It's great to say it to yourself, but when you actually give someone a compliment, let's say, that's a really good one. And I had to do this once for one of my assignments in emotional intelligence. I had to give a compliment, and then I had to ask for a compliment. And it was quite explosive in terms of the results that I experienced, because I had no clue how much of a ripple effect that would have. And of course, I felt more joy. And then when you give a compliment and people actually take it in and receive it, how do you feel? To me, it's like all these sparks go off and excitement happens. You have a smile on your face. You might feel the flush of blood into your cheeks. That's the oxytocin and blood getting released to like open and relax in your different body parts. Like, it's awesome. So all of this can be ways to create gratitude. And you can just start every morning off with this, saying things that are thanking yourself, thanking you for showing up, or thanking a higher power, the universe, nature, God, whatever you'd like to call the bigger meaning of life, just saying thank you for this new day, right? So you can adopt any of these gratitude affirmations. Thank you for this new day. The one that I learned in the conference, which I loved, is that all my needs are taken care of. All my needs are taken care of. What if I live from that space every day? How different would things be? What if our morning ritual included not just that, but then saying something wonderful is happening today. This was Michael Beckwith's work. Something wonderful is happening today, right now, right now, right now. and just saying, I'm grateful, thinking of what you're grateful for, visualizing that in your mind's eye, maybe closing your eyes just for even 30 seconds. I think that can really do a lot. And maybe one of these resonates, right? You can just go on any internet search or Pinterest or YouTube and probably find a bazillion gratitude affirmations, but come up with your own. It just might be like, I am so grateful to be alive. And now that it is Thanksgiving this week and it kicks off our holiday season, what can you do with the people you're with this Thanksgiving, if you're in the US, or if you are preparing for other holidays or in other countries? What could you say to cultivate this in your community, in your family or your community? And it might just be to say what you're thankful for. In my family, we didn't do grace. It wasn't really a thing. And one year we all spent Thanksgiving in Mexico. And I remember being moved by gratitude. And I had us all say something that we were grateful for around the table. So it was just my parents and my brother and myself. And I feel like we spent a half an hour going around the table saying what we're thankful for. And it was the first time any of us had done that in our family. Yeah. And it was really, really powerful, because at that time we just felt that gratitude wave warm us up. And I think, we had an incredible vacation that I know lasted an indelible imprint on my mind. And I'm sure for my parents and my brother it did as well, because it hadn't happened before. So think about your situation this week. What could you do to make this feel fun for you and enhance things like gratitude? It's not a to-do, right? The idea is like, this is in service to your field, like literally your energy field, feeling uplifted and lighter and more productive and releasing more oxytocin, all of these cool things that we're talking about, right? You could say, I invite gratitude into my heart. If you want to just close your eyes right now and say this with me, you can start right now. Pausing to invite gratitude into my heart. And just feel into that. It's one thing to say it, but how are you feeling into that now? Maybe there's a person who comes to mind, or a pet, or a favorite place in your environment that you go and visit. And just feel that connection with your heart, that love, and just send some gratitude to that. Maybe you say, thank you. I love you. Maybe you say, I'm so grateful to know you. And as a corporate leader, maybe there's someone at work that you just haven't really connected with. Maybe there's someone in your sphere you work with, but you're not really on like a good knowing basis. What if you were to close your eyes right now and just bring that person to mind and say, thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being in my environment and my world. I appreciate you. Thank you. And then acknowledge them. Maybe you take that to the next level, which is to tell them in person, right? So you can see I'm kind of stretching you here. I'm stretching us all and myself as I think about what I could do, because that's the idea, is gratitude can bring and move us into places that we aren't living in today, but we could live from this space, but we need to practice it, and it needs to feel stretchy to grow. Otherwise, we're just doing what we do, and that's not necessarily going to grow us in ways that feel transformative or off of autopilot, if that makes sense. So keep it fresh. Stay intrinsically motivated. Like maybe you have kids and you could do something really fun with them around gratitude. Make a gratitude tree on a piece of paper and stick little leaves on it with a saying that you're grateful for. And every day you stick one up there, or put it in a jar, and then you stick it all up in Thanksgiving, right? So when we do it and we keep it fresh, or we keep it novel in ways that feel new, they tend to stick with us and they tend to have more of an impact, right? So there's a bunch of different ways to do that. And you can even connect it to your deeper desires, like these yearnings we all have. And this is the emotional intelligence side, to know, hey, if I'm feeling like I want to be heard, and this might take some thought, and they're connected to feelings, like I just want people to like hear what I have to say this year. I feel like every time I give them an update, people are saying, pass the potatoes. And I hate that, right? Like maybe that's one of us. So the idea is, follow those yearnings. Maybe you start by saying how you're grateful and know that you are making an impact. And that starts with you, right? So back to our question, what is your favorite way to practice gratitude? What is that way for you? Just name it right now. Maybe you have a new idea. Maybe there's something you want to do this week that can help to really amp up how this works. And remember all the benefits I rattled off. These are incredibly powerful. And I think the biggest one is you can be more productive, right? And so that doesn't mean just your expert output. It means, having more fun and being more playful in the midst of doing that too. Maybe it is basting the turkey, So being grateful, taking a breath. If you want to do that one more time with me, close your eyes, feel your feet on the floor right now. Taking one breath, inhaling and exhaling. Holding that if you can, and then releasing that with a sigh. That is one breath. Open your eyes. Being grateful while you do so. Thank you, breath. Thank you for life. That is a breath that feeds me life, and I'm so grateful for this air that I have. You can do a gratitude body scan. I love this one because you can just literally scan through your body no matter where you are. No one needs to know you're doing it. And thank each part that you have as you go through it, right? Thank you, temple. Thank you, eyes. Thank you, jaw. Wow, you really get tight sometimes, but I think you're awesome. Thank you, neck. And this is really good practice if there are parts of our own bodies, physical bodies, that we aren't very comfortable in or we don't necessarily like, right? Like we all have a body part, especially women, I think, who we could probably be fine without that body part, or we want someone else's body part. So being grateful for that and just say, I'm sorry, I don't thank you more. You were so great. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Right? What would that be like? And just continue in that sense, right? So good. Building compassion is something else to think about too. And this just means essentially knowing that other people might be going through something that you're not relating to, but the idea is that you can express one thing for them today. Like, what are you grateful for? And over time, this does lead to compassion. I heard someone once say that loving kindness is the gateway drug to compassion. How cool is that? Loving kindness is the gateway drug. Loving kindness, which means all you need to do is think of a person in your mind's eye, and we already did this, but hey, let's just go with it again. Just have someone you can think of. It doesn't need to be anyone special. It could be the bum on the street that you passed earlier, and all you can say is, may you be happy. Spending 7 seconds on them. This is actually from Meng Sheg Tang, who wrote Search Inside Yourself and the book, Book of Joy, something like that. Escaping me at the time. So we build up this compassion every time we appreciate things, building this up in our gratitude practice, which also builds up our own resilience. So good. Gratitude journaling, I think, is another great opportunity for folks. And this can be the AM or PM ritual, just simply sharing 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 or whatever it is, gratitudes that you're grateful for. Super, super good. There's a really, really good book I want to recommend by Rhonda Byrne called The Magic. Anyone know this? It's also the same author. You might recognize Rhonda Byrne from The Secret, who also wrote The Secret. Well, The Magic is a 30-day gratitude practice. And it's 30 days of exercises. And by the end of 30 days, you're going to have a completely different shift within yourself on that just by practicing gratitude. It's a great gift for the holidays, The Magic. Check it out, Rhonda Byrne. And a while ago, a dear friend of mine gave me the book for my birthday, and I still have it. And I've used it a few times over the years, and it's so fun. It's so good as a gift, right? So think about your own world here. What would be helpful for you? And maybe even have like a total disaster on your hands, right? Maybe just something super unexpected or unfortunate is happening or happened to you. A great question you can ask yourself is, what am I learning from this? right? Like this is teaching me XYZ. Like, what is this teaching me right now? To me, that's actually getting out different ways to express gratitude, even if you're not even up for it, right? I think that that's interesting. Yeah. One last thing to share before I sign off today, I think this is important to know is, we have this spirit of gifting now that it's going to be the holiday season. The average American spends about $800 a person, or the average person spends $800 on holiday gifts. And this was a statistic from Happify as well from a few years ago. So you plunk down all this money for every kind of gift you need, but research tells us experiential gifts lead to more happiness than material ones. Experiential gifts. So what the heck are experiential gifts? Well, think about what you like. Maybe it's a vacation or a lesson in something. They could be tickets to some art or music event. There could be a membership to a gym or something like a botanical garden. I think that all of these make awesome gifts, and they also don't bring us into that consumer culture as much, right? So think about your gifts thoughtfully, right? Give it a moment. Maybe just pause and ask yourself, like, what would this person appreciate? And maybe it can be a win-win for you and the environment and for them too. And I think that makes a lot of sense. You can always do gift cards as well. That can work, even like a $5 or a $10 gift card, because most people are still excited to give something, right? Like you get, like this is you in the gratitude, enjoying wrapping up a present. We kind of feel that, right? Like it's fun. The pretty paper, the time you take to do that, thinking about the person, like you can make it very, very intentional. And even as you wrap it, like pour your gratitude into the wrapper, into this gift. And that is an energy field that you can be giving that person, right? Everything is energy. So have fun with it. You could do something different this year than you think. Well, I hope that you are excited about being grateful this week. Leave me a comment on how you plan to be grateful. You can leave me an audio message on the anchor.fm/the Pausecast website, which is super fun. And just write me back too, if you prefer. And I would love to hear from you. I always love hearing from you what moves you. And this could be a great time to practice gratitude or ask for a compliment or integrate what we're talking about today. So great to be with you. And I'm so grateful for you. So thank you, thank you, thank you for being here, everybody. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Big hugs, and I will see you soon.